Today we're going to make a video, just a little plain simple video of how DNA affects breeding in purebreds. I'm Barb.
And I'm Lyselle.
Welcome to episode 3. So what are we doing now in this episode?
So we're returning back to what we ended up with at the end of episode 1, where we had some Shetlands that had inherited a bit more of an ancestral mix because the parents of these ponies took on more of the ancestral traits of their parents, even though they were all Shetlands.
Yeah, well, and we had discussed at that stage, that maybe these ones are not to be registered, or maybe these ones ought to be gelded, or maybe not be included in a stud book.
At this stage, they may or may not be showing the appearance that they aren't as pure as a normal Shetland should.
So, and I think we came to a conclusion then that we wanted to explore with the beads, like we hadn't actually thought this through. We sort of thought at that time that we wanted to explore what would happen if those two individuals bred, that they sort of looked like Shetlands. We didn't know that they carried this ancestral different DNA. We didn't eliminate them from the stud book. We, we're ignorant, really. And we didn't do anything, and we thought, well, what would happen if we didn't take them out of the mix and thought they were both Shetlands and we were going to breed them?
Yeah.
So do you think we should breed them?
I think we should give it a go. Yeah, stumbling across this just naturally with what we're doing, playing with these beads, it gave us an opportunity to explore what would happen with this sort of mix, and I think it would be interesting to have a play. So,
well, it would, because I mean, it would happen in the wild and that as well, wouldn't it? Nobody is going to eliminate them. They're just going to exist and maybe survive, unless they are traits
they
that
could be recessive illness traits. I mean, this could be dwarfism or something that manifests in that manner.
So, but yeah, well, let's breed them. Whoops. Let's mix up all those genes. Oh God, they're going all over the place.
Coloured dice next time that don't roll.
So, and let's see, let's select our 10 and see what we're going to get. Whoops. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. You must have one too many. I need another one.
There's your runaway one.
Okay.
Yep. So I've ended up with less. So each started with 4 ancestral.
Yep.
I've ended up with less, and Barb has ended up with more. So this, we can assume this individual really starts looking a bit left field of the breed, and this one is correcting.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting too, isn't it?
Yeah. So this might illustrate to us that even those ponies that don't look quite right, especially in a breed where there are not that many individuals, these ponies we started with may still be helpful in a breeding program, especially with widening diversity, because we can see they can be corrected, and this could be culled or gelded and just excluded, not registered, and we recognise that this is a little too far. 50-50 is now going to be too hard to correct.
Yes.
It's not so bad.
And that's correct. And I suppose it also would help to run genetics again, to actually see where exactly we're at, which individuals would be worth breeding with.
Yeah, exactly. We might find another pony where it only has one ancestral trait and two other black. And to put this pony to would correct it further.
Yeah, it would. Or we could have ended up with something like this even.
Yeah, minimal traits of the original horse.
And I mean, really, if it was a stud book, you would have to do something about it, you know. You would have to run some sort of an assessment process with an assessor going to look at horses and say, you know, yeah, this one really does not have the traits that we're looking for. I mean, good pony.
Yeah. Might still be a fantastic looking horse, great temperament, rideable, sound.
But as far as a Shetland is concerned,
Shetland.
you know, we have less Shetland genes than what we do of other genes. So let's just, instead of breeding with this individual, unless, again, we're breeding to a purebred, if we are going to breed with this individual, though, it may not be worth that much, but it would be really good to still ride and get out and about. You know, we may not include it into your stud book, though.
Yeah.
Whereas yours,
decent for breeding, we would hold on to this pony. Yeah.
Yeah, we would. And we would try and upbreed like we did in episode 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. That was fun.
Yeah, I think it was
fun. It was
fun.
a lot cheaper than doing it with real ponies.
and a lot quicker too. We didn't have to wait, you know,
generations.
Generations. We could do all of that, and I do hope our viewers can sort of see how random the DNA can fall in, and how, you know, these ancestral breeds can just hang on for ages and ages. All right, let's call it quits now, and next time we might explore, you know, already a lot of mixed ponies mixing with other very mixed ponies and see what we might get.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right.